Hey, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. This is Elma, the non-tech techie, and today I'm very excited because we are going to have a live stream with a tool that is like almost like a Swiss Army knife of content generation, and it's called Yarnit. It sounds like something like you're knitting or something, but it's called Yarnit, and it's very interesting because I tried it and I actually just got it yesterday, so I did not get the time to fully test the application, and that's also quite good in a way because when I was using the app yesterday, I encountered some things, and I have a lot of questions, good questions, not nothing bad at all, and it's very exciting because I think that with Yarnit, this is something that can help me get ideas on what will be my next content. Where
Right.
it has a lot of AI templates for writing. It has AI designing. You can audit and you can also publish within the same dashboard or the same software. You don't have to go out. And in fact, the AI designing part, it's potentially replacing Canva for businesses. Like you don't need to have a Canva subscription just to create an image for your social media post. So overall, it's really, really interesting, and I'm really, really excited. And I haven't fully explored it, so I'm here tonight with the founder of Yarnit, JD, and yeah, we will talk about the best practices, and we will have a product demo, and then we are going to ask any questions that you may have about Yarnit, and it's just so interesting. But before we go, or before I go ask JD to introduce himself, if you could please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification button, I would appreciate it. Thank you so much. So, JD, how are you tonight?
I'm doing fantastic, Emma. Thanks for having me.
Okay, and thank you so much. I've invited JD actually almost a couple of months ago before I went on vacation. And finally, I have JD with me here. Now, JD, can you please let us know more about Yarnit? Like, why did you name it Yarnit? You know, it's like, damn it, something like that. So it's quite funny. And tell us also your journey, why you created Yarnit, who are you, and why should people listen to you?
Oh, fantastic. Those are tough questions, aren't they?
Hey, that's
Firstly,
not
my
tough. Just be yourself.
you know, firstly, sorry, Emma. It took me a couple of weeks to get back to you. We were traveling for work and had to sort of find a common slot together. But
Mhm.
yeah, let me sort of answer your question as they come. Talking about Janet, how did the term come about, the name come about? Um, so yarns are also means short stories, right? So the another literal meaning of yarn are short stories, and what we also took, the verb of yarning is stitching, right? It's basically you take a thread of wool and you stitch together to make sweaters or whatever woolen clothes they are making, right? So we literally took the verb, which is weaving a story, and we took the yarn as a noun as a story. So that's how we said, why don't we make people create or help people create great stories? So that's how the name came about. Now, why did we create Yarnet? That's a very interesting story. Me and my founding team, my other co-founders included, we have spent almost last 10 years together building AI applications, enterprise grade AI applications in different domains, like spaces in the space of analytics, etc. And of course, as a team, we banded together, we built a successful startup, we got an exit through an acquisition. So what was very, very close to us was technology, right? We knew the technology and how to use AI in powerful ways. Uh, as far as my role concerned, I have been a career, GTM guy, go to market guy, largely leading sales, global sales for brands and different companies and startups. And then the other role I always played was for marketing. Now, interestingly, as much as I was a successful sales guy, I'd love to call myself successful with small success that I got, but not necessarily excelled so much in marketing. And we grappled with marketing even in our previous startup, and the whole idea that or the challenges that we had was around, you need so many means, you need so many resources to execute marketing campaigns. When it comes to creating good content, you need so many tools, and you need to have time to sort of weave together good stories. So the challenge and the pain of content marketing and the ease and the comfort of building AI applications sort of found a common ground, and that's how we started Yarnet.
Okay.
And
Oh,
why why
that's
why
interesting. That's interesting
yeah.
because okay, there is a, I would not say it's a misconception, I would not say it's a myth, but a lot of
Mhm.
people think that sales is marketing and marketing is
Mhm.
sales and they are one and the same, but actually they are very 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 different.
Yeah, yeah, certainly. But one
Yeah,
leads to another, one feeds to the other, right? So you
exactly.
can't keep them out. They always work together, right?
Yes, they
Of course,
coexist.
yeah, and those lines get blurred when it comes to SaaS and products, because many times it's the marketing which dictates your sales, determines your sales, whether your customers are coming to your website or your product or not, and then they are clicking onto the product or not. So the narrative is often set by the marketing,
Exactly.
while the closure of deals is often done by the sales. So it's almost, think of them as a relay race. Somebody starts it, somebody ends it.
Right.
But
It's a cycle.
it has to always work together. They need to have the understanding
Yes, yes, yes.
of each other and what roles they play. Yeah,
Exactly. Now how I actually define it, what's the difference between sales and marketing? Because everywhere I go, or most,
right.
or say if I look at the job boards, you call that, they say, oh, I'm looking for a sales and marketing manager, sales and marketing director. They always combine the two functions together. And for
Yeah.
me, that is very different. And I know that because as an entrepreneur, I need sales and I need marketing. And how I define sales and marketing is marketing is it's actually a strategy
Hmm.
to get your consumers hooked, to get them
Hmm.
interested on your product in the first place, because if they are not interested with your product, they would never even
Hmm.
buy. It wouldn't even
Hmm.
go to that part
Hmm.
of the funnel where they are going to buy your product. But the
Hmm.
salesperson or the salespeople, they are also very important to maintain or to maintain the relationship with the customers, to nurture
Hmm.
these clients so that in the end they eventually convert. So they really work together, but that's how I differentiate it. Marketing is to make people interested, sales is the one closing it, and sales is really good. Okay, without sales, so
I see. I see you have a bias towards sales, which is good. Which is good. I like
no, that's really
it.
okay. Sales bring in the money, okay? Like no matter
Yeah,
how good the
they're the
marketing
rainmaker.
is, but there's no one executing the sales, how can money come
Yeah.
in, right?
Yeah, no, that's a very interesting thing that you put up. Look, as in, I've done my bit of sales and marketing in both large enterprises and small startups as well. Um, Things get blurred based on the product, right? As in, if you're looking at
Mhm.
SaaS products, which are very digital native, majority of things happening digitally alone, that is where you will see marketing teams doubling up or behaving as if they are the revenue generating teams. They become eventually the rain makers, right? And then you have these large enterprises, which are more high touch, products or services that you're selling to your customer, where these two teams have very distinct responsibilities, like you said, right? As in, somebody is setting up the narrative, right? And the other person is basically delivering the narrative, managing the relationship, and closing the deals, right? But you also, this, like I said, it depends on the scale, uh, on what, on where the brand is operating, and also about the product, right? And so those two things sort of kind of differentiates them. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And okay, here there is, okay, Charles is saying marketing is education or more on educating
Yeah.
customers, yes, and sales is more
Right.
on the dollars. Definitely, I agree with that. Okay, so but we need both. Okay, very very
Yep.
important
Yep.
to have both in a company, no matter how big or small. Okay, so
Right,
let's go start the okay, how to use Yarnit, and please show us how it can help businesses of all
right,
sizes and what are the best
right.
practices. And I might interrupt you during the demo because probably there will be a lot of questions here.
I would love
Okay?
love to take all of them. I would love to take all of them. Please stop me
Okay.
so that I don't get into a monologue. It's already late in the part of the world that I live in, so I don't want to get to sleep as well.
Okay.
Just before I get to the demo, Emma, I think what would be interesting to sort of also speak a little bit about what's Yarnit all about, what is that we can do, and you'll probably see a lot of that in action. Look, and that was one of your previous questions that I didn't answer is what is that Yarnik is setting up to do, right? As in, how is it helping customers? Look, as in, from a product perspective, we wanted to do two things, right? We wanted to sort of create an engine which is creating personalized content, something that is on brand, on trend, speaking to your customer about their needs and not something you know, that is completely abstract and not relevant to their need. So personalization is something that we wanted to drive. Two, we always wanted to sort of create one connected system, right? So that I don't have to change tools, I don't have to hop on to one from one tool to another, and create a disconnected, siloed journey. Rather, can we have one connected system from where you can start with your ideation layer, write content, design content, publish it, and finally measure that content to say what is that your content is doing and why, right? So that's the premise on which we had built the platform. And of course, there's so much to do on the product, right? It's just early days, right? So that's basically the context of it. Let me sort of quickly share my screen and take you through a demo.
Okay. Thank you.
And for your audience, everybody who has joined in, thank you so much for joining in. And would love to make this conversation much more interactive. So feel free to shoot your questions, and happy to take them in between.
Okay, great.
Right. Okay.
There you go. There is the screen.
Just loading up. Do you see my screen now?
Yes, we can see your screen.
All right, fantastic. Look, like I said, there are plenty of things that you could do with Yarnet, but when it comes to the content or the type of content that you can create of it, the first thing that I wanted to sort of discuss is basically if you look at what are the different templates that we have available to you, you can probably do and power all your social media marketing through Yarnet. And when we say social media marketing, it could be anything for LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and as recent as Threads. Now, if you see the use cases within them, there are certain use cases which are more design forward. For example, can I create a quick Instagram carousel post? Can I create a single slide post? Or maybe I want to write an article on LinkedIn. So you have different use cases specific for those channels and what are more popular in those channels. Then the next set of use cases are would probably be in the domain of business, right? And if you broadly classify them, you will see three categories of content. One for your marketing and PR, right? And when I say PR, you would probably, when you think of content within the realm of PR, either you are writing a press release, making a company update, doing an event announcement, or maybe just sharing news about latest and greatest that is happening with your brand or company. And at the same time, if you want to go very, very specific on certain kind of press releases, it could be a new product press release, or it could be a new partnership that you cracked and you want to talk about that or inform your audience about that, you should be able to create all of that content. Now, that's one pillar, which is your marketing communication slash PR. The other piece of content that you can create or you can find that bucket within business is all your sales content. It could be creating a sales landing page for your next campaign. It could be about creating a quick case study presentation or creating a customer testimonial, and sort of so that you can also spread stories or create stories for your sales communications. And then the last one is around products, which could be highlighting a product benefit, writing a product description, or talking about or elaborating on your product features. You should be able to do all of that. Then the next category of use cases, which is one of the most popular use cases that you would see on Yarnet, is around writing long form content, which could be an article, which could be a blog. And if you have certain things already inbuilt, as in, for example, you're already working on a blog, you want to write a quick introduction of it, or a quick outro, or a conclusion of it, you should be able to do that too. Email marketing, which is one of the most time tested version of content marketing, a time tested channel, I would say. You should be able to execute your email campaigns to them, whether you are making a cold outreach to a customer or a prospect, right? Whether you are announcing about your product launch or product update, you should be able to write emails on it. Now, I'm sure there are use cases that we don't cover. And for those, at this point, of course, you can go in and use this tool in the form of Freestyle, where you can design it or you can, write it freestyle. This is a growing list, by the way, right? As in, we constantly update new use cases, and by looking at what our customers are asking for, what needs are coming new and are on trend, we generally sort of bring in new use cases as well. Now that's pretty much on what you can do with Yarnet, right? How, if you go to sort of the point of how Yarnet sort of differentiates, the very differentiation comes from the fact that you can start adding the brand brain, and we call this as almost like a brand brain. And the whole idea around the brand brain is that you can set up different brands, you can set up the design system of it, whether it is your logos, whether it is your backgrounds, whether they are colors, right? Fonts that you like for your design systems. For example, you want your fonts to be of certain size, of certain font style, you should be able to do all of that. Folks who are familiar with tools, design tools like Canva and others, probably understand what I'm saying here. But the most important thing is about your brand personality, right? Now, this is what dictates every piece that this AI system will generate for you. This is how it contextualizes it to your brand, to your audience, etc., etc. Right? So, for example, when I come to brand personality, there are a few important things we ask our customers to sort of add in. One, it could be a simple description about your brand. What do you do? What features do you have, etc., etc. You can also bring in and add your content to say, who do you sell to? Who is your ideal customer? And you can be as literal as, chief data scientist within the age group of 40 to 50, living in Denver, Colorado. That could be a definition too, right? So you can be very subjective about the definition. If you want to be very, very specific, you can also give very objective definition. You can also add content so that the system gets trained with it, so that it understands the tone, the tenor, the choice of words that you have. And that is where you can add some sample copy in the form of free text, and the system would use that information to get that understanding. You can also define the archetype of your brand, right? Now, for some of those folks, you might be thinking this is overwhelming or boring, but this is a quick one-time setup. We have seen brands take as less as 5 minutes. Some of them have spent 30 minutes to sort of get this right. But this is an investment worth the time, because what you will see coming out of this is very, very meaningful. Now, for example, when you set up and define your brand archetype, what happens here, right? So if I define my brand archetype as a sage has a certain narrative. It has a certain style. If you look at Googles of the world, they are probably come under the umbrella of sage as an archetype. Now, if you say, if you're writing a post being sarcastic, irreverent, or witty, what the system would do, it will work, or it will put those guardrails for you to be as witty or as sarcastic as a sage, right? So those are, nuanced training that we add to the system. Of course, you can add different configurations in here. This is since you talked about best practices, we have seen a lot of our customers add certain words they do not want in their communication. One of the latest trends that people have seen through for AI systems is that there are certain biases, or they're more keen or trained to use certain words more popularly. For example, like unlock, unleash, things like that. They have added those words as exclusion words so that the system doesn't generate those, right? There are a bunch of other configurations that you can add to the brand personality, but these are the minimum five that we always ask and encourage our customers to sort of add in. Yeah.
Okay,
I'll
I have a
take a quick
question
pause.
here
Sure.
on
Yeah, go
the
ahead.
brand archetype. Okay,
Yeah,
because I've actually set up my brand yesterday on Yarnit, and I've
yeah,
noticed that there are different brand archetypes, right? And
yeah,
there's
yeah.
actually a definition of what these archetypes are. Now, how
Right.
many archetypes can I add to my brand?
It's a very good question, and if you have been part of marketing agencies, a lot many times, as a brand, you're not probably settled with one, right? As in, you cannot sort of box yourself being innocent or being sage, right? You
Right,
can do up to three or four. That is the best practice at this point. But you know, a brand is only a combination or part of two or part of three at best, right? I can be innocent and creative at the same time, right?
right.
Or I can be that everyman and the hero at the same time. But if you add too many of them, it becomes more complex. And generally, even if you see those hybrid personalities, as you would see, hybrid brand archetypes, they will be at max of two or three. Right.
Okay, that's good. So, guys, use only maximum 2 to 3 brand
Yeah,
archetypes
I
and
would
not more
suggest
than.
if the best marketeers actually find one, right? The best marketeers actually find and get them into one personality, because if you look at them, all the different personalities, they are quite distinct, right? They are not something which are, uh, you know, I would say mutually non-exclusive, right? And therefore, I would recommend to use one. But if your brand falls into one or two categories, please feel free to do that.
But don't go over 3, okay? That 3 is the
Yeah,
max.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. And also
yeah.
on the previous, okay, so I think we are done with the brand personality and
Right.
the, how do you call that? Okay, so now on the brand background, because
Yeah.
I've updated my branding
Mhm,
or
mhm.
uploaded my branding in Yarnit. Now, I actually struggled a bit on the brand background, and the reason for
Right.
it is I don't have a guidance on what is
Mm.
the size of the image that I should put.
All
So, do
right.
you have any guidelines on that?
Absolutely. I think there are four sizes that work today. It's not so much about the sizes, but the ratio. To be honest, it's
Resolution, right?
basically right. Resolution, the 16 is to 9, 1 is to 1, 4 is to 5, or it could be 9 is to 16, right? Those are the four canvas sizes that we work with today, Emma. And one of the core reason is those are the most popular ones or the most used ones, right? We are also bringing in a feature to do custom canvas sizes, but that's not something that is added into the brand background yet, right?
Okay.
But the whole reason of adding a brand background in here, look, as in a lot many times we work with a few backgrounds, right? You are not going to change your illustrations or backgrounds for every post that you're doing, and therefore it's only wise to sort of add them. You might have created them on different tools like Adobe or Figma, or even for that matter Canva. You can actually take the download of them in the form of PNGs or JPEGs and add them as brand background. Yeah,
Okay. So basically, for best results, I need to upload
yeah.
4 different resolutions or four
Sizes
different
depends on,
sizes,
yeah,
yep,
right,
of the
depends on
same
what use case.
background.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
okay.
depends on what use cases you are doing. Say, for example, if your main focus is on social media marketing, I think the most
Mm-hmm.
popular two formats that you would see would be 1 is to 1 and
Right.
4 is to 5, right? Which is what you're most popular in Instagram or LinkedIn. So at a minimum, I would suggest to have those brand backgrounds. If you don't have them, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. You don't have to sort of necessarily add brand background. The system automatically takes your primary colors that you have added. I'll show all of that in the demo. Yeah,
Okay,
and there are
good.
plenty of backgrounds already added onto Yarnet. There are a lot of templates there you can work with, so you do not necessarily have to add a background as such, right?
Okay, if I can make a suggestion about the brand
Sure.
backgrounds, can
Yeah.
there be a question mark, like an info mark that explains,
Mm,
okay, if these are your social, okay, we recommend 1 is to 1 for LinkedIn
mm,
posts, for Instagram
mm,
posts, or 16
mm.
to 9 for this particular post, so that it's easier
Right.
for us, like, okay, because this
Mm,
is the first time that we are going in, and I don't know yet
mm.
what Yarnit can do. But
Hmm.
of course,
Hmm.
once I start designing with Yarnit, then I know what are the resolutions that Yarnit has. But that would be easier for us users to know
Hmm.
what kind of sizes we have to upload. That's about it.
No, that's a very fair suggestion. Thank you for
Okay.
making that. And
So, yeah.
yeah, I'm taking a note of that now. Yeah. No, that's a brilliant suggestion actually. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. And yeah, sorry about that. We can go to the next part.
Sure. Look, I think, we have broadly seen what is the capabilities or the possibilities with the Yarnet, the different use cases. How do you ensure that your content is compliant to your brand? And that is the layer of brand credit and brand personality. Now let's get to, the action part, right? Now, if you see majority of our journeys or the user journeys or customer journeys actually start with content ideas. So there are two journeys that we have seen our customers take. Either they will go to content ideas or they will pick up a template and go from there, right? Let me sort of talk about the content ideas first. And there are plenty of other things, we'll touch upon them. Um, the publishing layer, the portfolio will probably come to that in the later half of our discussion. Let's start with content ideas first. Now, what are these content ideas, right? These are ideas that are relevant for your long form. They are relevant for your social media posts, right? Now, what the system does is that it is constantly looking at my creations. What is that I'm creating right now? And therefore, what should I create next? So what you see is based on usage. It is actually looking at my usage and therefore recommending what could be my next story, what could be my next content that I need to create. At the same time, there is a tab of generated. It basically keeps and hosts all that I have created, all the different ideas that I have generated uh, by using the idea generator. And then list is, of course, a short list or a bookmark. Think of that as a bookmark of the ideas that I've shortlisted and used for my own content creation. But if you want to start by generating an idea, right? And what could be an idea generation at this point? Let's say we are here to write a blog, right? And all I need to do is basically add a few keywords. Let's say I'm going to write about email marketing as email marketing trends, right? Let's say these are the two keywords that I want to sort of use because what I want to write is basically around email marketing. Now, what you can do at this point, of course, you click on this generate ideas button. Now, it will take good 20 or 30 seconds, right? But let me tell you what is happening behind the scenes, right? Now, basis the keywords that I have given, basis the format that I have chosen, what it is doing, it is going to different search databases. Could be Google Trends, Google Keywords, YouTube, there are plenty of data sources that we work with. Um, Now, why it is hitting those data sources is to find out what are those questions that users have around these keywords. Point number one. What are the other relevant keywords that coexist with the words that I have added in here, right? And looking at all of that information, then it feeds into our AI layer to sort of give you current on trend ideas or content ideas around those keywords. So you can literally create ideas, or you can find ideas as recent as an hour before.
Nice. My question is because, okay, I
Right.
just started with Yarnit yesterday, so I don't have
Right.
any content yet inside Yarnit. So when
Yes.
can Yarnit start generating ideas for me? Because
So
I don't have any
generate.
content yet.
Yeah. So the generation part, Emma, is really happening on demand, right? So I can go and click on generate ideas, put in those keywords, couple of keywords, whatever on which you want to create content, and it will generate ideas. The usage thing takes a little time to sort of start generating ideas for you because that is looking at what you're creating with Yarnet and therefore generating those ideas. But generate ideas is a thing. It can happen on demand from the time, from the moment you land onto Yarnet.
Understand.
Right? So if you see these are different blog ideas that it is suggesting to me. You're unveiling the future for 5 email marketing trends to watch out for, the evolution of email marketing, mastering the art of email marketing, what are the trends in 2023, email marketing trends, a glimpse of the future. So these are different things that it is talking about. Now, even if you see this, right, I didn't add AI or personalization or interactive content as keywords at all, right? But it is finding those words based on the research that it has already done. Now, what's the utility of this, right? If you see, majority of AI tools today do not have the context in real time, right? They may not be aware of Barbie core as a trend, right, or any new latest trend that's happening uh, today, right? And that is what Yarnit allows you to do, is basically find context from whatever is happening on trend, what is that your consumers are looking for, and then bring them back in the form of content ideas, right? So, for example, let's say if I take this as an idea, right? And at this point, what I can do, of course, I can like it, give a thumbs up so that the system learns and takes feedback from it. Of course, you can downvote it or dislike it. You can also sort of add this to the list, and this is where you'll find this will find a home in your list tab. You can also ask the system to say, "Hey, I'm not interested about it. Why don't you hide this?" Right? But let's say I'm interested and I like it. I can just click on the create button. So this is the topic, the title that it has suggested. This is the content instructions that it has. Um, you know, from automation to accessibility, I can add further instructions. Right. This blog is being written for email marketeers. Right. Make the blog informative. And you can actually add content instructions as you are thinking or creating a content brief, right? Add 5 to 6 long paragraphs, right? Now I've given all these instructions, right? Sorry. Now, what you can do, the brand thing is on, right? It understands that you are writing for Yarnet, right? What's the tone? You can choose the tone. Let's say I want to be conversational about it. So I'm choosing this particular tone. The length, although I have given this instruction, but let me overwrite it and say, write it long. Now, at this point, you can do some other interesting, cool stuff as well. In cases where you want to sort of add certain keywords or exclude keywords, you can do that at the point of creation as well. You can also add reference material, right? Reference material in the form of text, in the form of links, or in the form of documents. So for example, you are really inspired by a piece of article that somebody else might have written, or an analyst might have written, or it is there in syndicated media. You can actually add that so that the system refers to it. I'll talk about a secret that a lot of our customers do is basically they also repurpose content with this, right? They actually, they might have written a blog, they add that blog and ask the system to create a social media post of it. I'll come to that a little later. But what I've really done, I've just added the topic. It had already some instructions. I've added a few more instructions in here. I'm pretty much good at this point to do two things. Either I can look at the outline, what is that the structure that the blog is likely to follow, and then I can actually generate the actual content as well.
Okay, so while we are waiting for that, there was a question earlier from this
Sure.
one is from Abhishek.
Yeah.
It's regarding the demographics that we put in the brand personality section.
Yeah.
Does
Yeah.
it does Yarnet make content or create content based on the demographics?
It absolutely takes that into context, right? Say, for example, I want to speak to a demographic that is largely based in India or in US, or maybe even more specific. Let's say you want to talk to my audience is largely, Central America or Texas for that matter in US. I can literally sort of customize that. Right. So if you see this, what it has done, it has talked about, it will start with an introduction. It is giving me these different trends, right? And it is ending this with a conclusion. Now, it has broadly given me all these different highlights or, headings that it is going to cover. But if I don't want any of them, I can actually edit them at this point itself. If I want to sort of plug in and add a different subheading to it, I can do that too, right? Now, let's say, I'm okay with this. Of course, I can do another regeneration if I don't like this at all, right? I can want to sort of do a complete regeneration. I can do that. But let's say I'm okay, broadly okay with this. Let's generate the content out of it.
By the way, my chair is Barbiecore. Well, when you were talking about Barbiecore earlier, I did a quick Google search. What is a Barbiecore? Oh, my chair is Barbiecore. I've always loved pink.
Right.
Yeah. And actually, the original brand colors of non-tech tech is actually very pink, very feminine. But my team said, "Hey, that is not good because we are doing technology here, and pink may be too feminine." Okay, so whatever
Uh,
color.
it doesn't matter. Doesn't
But
matter at
yeah,
all.
look at my chair. It's Barbiecore. Okay, so another question about the blogs.
Yep.
Okay, so this is a
Yep.
question from Isham Shuja. Is there any number of words limit for the blogs?
No. It largely there's no limit to the blog, but it actually takes into account the two things that we did, right? As in, if you're adding specific instructions, then that's one part of it. Two, if you're choosing the length to be short, medium, and length long, based on that, it will generate the copy for you. So there's no actual limit to it. The number of words that you can create of it. Actually, it's taking a little longer than expected. Let me so, while it is generating this content, it is doing a couple of other stuff as well. And, let it come up before so that I don't, uh, right? So if you
Ah,
see
there you
this,
go.
it has generated that entire content. If you ask me, I'm not very happy with the content because the subheadings are too long, right? Now, at this point, what I can do, I can actually shorten them and, make it more sharper, right? Summarize it. So if you see, this has written that entire blog, but if you ask me, it has given too much emphasis on the subheadings right now, and therefore you can actually do multiple operations on the content. Let's say if I like something like this, right? I want to expand this paragraph. I can do that. To your question, I think that you asked, can you sort of, is there a limit to it? No, there's no limit to this at all. You can sort of expand your content. Let's say, I want to do that. I want to expand this paragraph. I can do that. Emma, I think very interestingly, you had also put out, in the description of this webinar, to say storytelling in content, right? And,
Yes.
probably I'll touch upon that a little bit because we are a big proponent of storytelling, right? So if you see, it has generated or expanded that. If I'm okay with this, I can one save this for later, or I can also add this to the editor right away, right? So, instead of that one small blurb of text, now you can actually, on the same topic, it has written a much longer piece of paragraph in here, right?
Okay.
At the same time, if you want to sort of summarize any of them, you can do summarize that, all of that. The editor in itself is intelligent, so the regular things that you do with your editors, maybe, you want to underline, strike through, make it bold, change the heading to different text, create list, numbered list, unnumbered list, you should be able to do that. If you want to shift the trends, move the sections up and down, you should be able to do that. In the indenting is also taken care from here, right? Now, you also talked about, since you've spoken about storytelling, right? Now, one of the most interesting things in this you'll see is your ability to generate content hooks, right? And content hooks, if you're a serious content marketer, one of the biggest ownership or the owners that you have is to engage your audience with the first impression, right? And one of the first impressions that you can create is either write an antithesis, talk about something which is completely against what you're writing so that you get their attention immediately, right? Or you can create an anecdote on it, or you're writing a hook question or a statistics, a powerful hook which engages your user to read that entire blog, Likewise, these are different hooks, either good for you to start your content or end your content.
Okay. Where can I? Okay, maybe we will show again where to find it later. Okay, so
Yeah,
while
sure.
we have, oh, it's done. So let's do that first.
Right. So, if you see this, it I actually went in and added this, right? Is in the plus button allows you to do many more functions, whether it is generating instructions, generating content hooks, generate a completely new section, you should be able to do that. Your ability to rephrase the content, let's say, if I like this, I don't want to I want to change the tone of this at this point, right? And therefore I can summarize it. I can change the tonality to say now, write it in a respectful manner or write it in a witty manner or formal manner. So you should be able to change the tone of your paragraphs, of your headings, whatever you want to sort of edit at this point, right? Now, apart from this, what you would see, there are plenty of interesting things happening in here too. This is our AI recommendation engine, which has the ability to recommend different multimedia to you, right? Whether it is images. Now, what are the best images that pairs with your story? Right? It is giving me images which are topical around this subject related to email marketing. Now, in this, for example, digital marketing, it is picking up images from digital marketing, right? Now, majority of these images and the whole reason we bring this out is to sort of reduce that unpredictability in this process. To say what is the content that what is the image that I should write. So it is sort of reducing that. um, and then you will see the research element to it. Oh, sorry, before I go to the research, you will also see the custom where you can search and add your own keywords and find images for your blog. You don't have to worry about, attribution, etc. These are all royalty free images that you're getting from us. On the research side, of course, there are plenty of statistics that you would see. See, one of the most important things if you are in the business of writing long form is to sort of add credibility to your blogs, right? Or the credibility to your content. And one of the most, well found way or well proven way is to sort of add statistics to it, right? So if you see, these are different nuggets of statistics that is coming your way, which you can add to your story. It is solving for two things. Of course, it is adding the credibility. It is also informing your user to understand that, hey, this person or this writer is aware of their content. Two, it is also sort of, you can also use this to add more backlinks to your content. So for example, if you see, all the statistics are coming from syndicated market research sources, analyst sources, which you can add and also go to the link and actually create a backlink of it, right? Likewise, you will see icons, etc. Now, if whatever we are writing, if you think we're broadly okay with this, what you can also do is quickly audit your content as well. Now, what's the auditing all about? Now, this is again our own proprietary AI algorithm, which is allowing you to understand what is this content all about, right? What's the readability that it demands, right? So, for example, if you say this, we have abstracted it to say, hey, somebody who has the proficiency or has the reading habit of reading HBR should be able to read it quickly. And expert readability is not bad or good either. It basically says what is this, what kind of skills does this demand, right? Then the statistics of it, some simple statistics to say, if I've written this blog, how much time it would take for somebody to read, certain flex scores, the number of characters, the number of letters, the number of words, etc., right? Then the very impact of it, right? As in, what is the fastest way you can gauge the impact of your content? So in this, if you see, it is doing two things. Of course, it is inspiring my users, or likely to inspire my viewers to use this content. It is also demanding action. Maybe they are getting inspired and want to sort of write the next email drip campaign, right? And it is also grabbing attention. So the facts that you have written, the trends that you have written in here, it is grabbing attention. So this becomes almost like a proxy for doing an A/B testing. If you are in the space of marketing, A/B testing is something that a lot of marketers do to test the campaigns, to test creatives, ads, and ensure that it is hitting the right notes. This is one of the fastest proxy way to sort of do that. Okay, and if you're done pretty much with the blog that you see here, you can sort of download it in the form of a Word doc. You can also save it for you to sort of work on it later. Yep.
Okay.
So that's one part of it, right? And of course, there are things like assets. So if you have your own pictures in here which you want to add, you should be able to do that. If I go to images, let's say, I want to use an image like this, I should be able to, all I need to do is basically press on this button and that image will be added in here too, right?
Okay. Actually, there is a question about the images. Oh,
Right.
this is not the right question. It's the one before that. What is the source of images, and is it safe to use them for blog sites?
Absolutely, absolutely. So we are a partner to a premium image library, which is Getty Images. For unfortunately, for all the lifetime deals that you would see, these are free stock that we could do because with the different partnerships that we are not allowed to sort of put up premium stock in the plans, and therefore the ones that you see here are free stock, which you can use without attribution as well, right?
Okay. Okay, and
Right. So that's
another question related to this feature. Is there
right.
any recommendation window to improve readability?
Yeah, that's a very interesting thing. See, for example, what you see here in the as a current capability is one, of course, it is doing the audit for you. It is not doing the remediation. The remediation is something that we are bringing onto the product soon, right? So, if I'm saying, how do you make it how do you make it to grab attention even further or demand action even further? Now those are certain things that as a remediation layer we have in our roadmap and we want to bring that soon. Yeah,
Okay, and
but that's
speaking
a
of your roadmap, do you have a
right.
roadmap that we can look at?
Yeah, I can broadly talk about it, Emma.
Okay.
you know
Oh,
we
then
don't
later. We're going off topic. I just want to know because
yeah.
I think I asked you via the email, but I maybe you haven't seen my
Yeah, so we
email
don't
yet.
we don't make we don't make our roadmap public. We keep on informing our customers what's coming next, right?
Okay.
I'll happy to sort of do a few giveaways at this point and talk about what's coming next on the product. But we do not carry a generic roadmap onto our product, on our websites.
Okay, no worries. And this one is still related to the blog. How about
Mhm.
plagiarism? How do you
Right.
handle
So
this?
plagiarism, actually, this is a very interesting question and a very popular debate in this domain. Look, as in, if you look at generative AI as a technology, it's not necessarily copy and pasting text from here. Even on the same blog that we were working on right now, if I do another generation, it will do a complete generation from scratch, right? But to but if you ask me, as in how sure you are, I would say I'm 99% confident that it is not plagiarized text. For the 1% that I would still leave a window open for you to sort of use a plagiarism checker to ensure that no such pieces have been added like that, right? But if you look at AI generation as a capability, the whole promise here it's itself is it's generating new text. Of course, it has understanding and the context of large internet or the training it has gone through, but it's not plagiarized text as such. But we have seen our customers do a quick check, often just to be doubly sure that it's not getting copy pasted from anywhere.
Okay, and there's another
For
question
yeah, sorry, go ahead. Yeah,
about
for
the
our some of our enterprise customers, what we do, we also sort of bring in plagiarism as a custom feature, but that's not something that we have built on our own. We bring in third-party plagiarism checker to sort of add on to the product.
Okay, and regarding the images that you mentioned
Right.
earlier,
Yeah.
and they said Getty is good, but it's actually not offered for us. And can we buy credits? And maybe are you planning to add more sources of images?
So right now, I think majority of our sources are, we have around 7 million odd images, even for the LTD users as well, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we are already dealing with a huge corpus, you know, with and probably the best in the business as well. Onto the credit part of, we are bringing in those credit plans with which you should be able to sort of buy, some of the smaller SKU items, as I would call it. Right? We do
Right.
not have that credits plan yet for specific things. We generally, because our other plans are also go by seat, the number of seats or the licenses that we sell, but we would bring that.
Okay. Now
Right.
let's answer this question regarding the content audit. So
Right.
so JDIP is asking if the content audit feature is it for SEO optimization or for social media content?
It's actually both. I would not say for SEO optimization because, see, a lot of times the if you're going through the content ideas, etc., we have taken care of the SEO optimization part. It is the major promise of the readability is to ensure whether your content is delivering the right message or not, right? I'll give you a quick example of it, right? So, for example, if we are writing an ad or if you are designing an ad creative at this point, and if you do not have a CTA, which is adding a sense of urgency or it is demanding action, then that ad is of not very great use because all you want from your ad is for your customers to rush into, click that button, to book, sign up, download, right? So while you're writing copy, it is basically working as that compass for you and tell you that whatever you have written, designed is actually on point. Sorry for that
Okay.
long answer, but that's a very interesting question since that got asked. Yeah. So
Okay,
a quick
understand.
what I'll do, I'll also sort of quickly take the group through uh, a social media use case, which will broadly help me cover you know let's say let's say we are here to write an Instagram carousel post, just so that I can also um, take you through uh, the use case more clearly. For example, email marketing trends. Right, this is the same topic that we did here. The reason I wanted to show you use the same topic, I could have chosen anything here, is to also show you the difference when it comes to the understanding of what you should write for social media versus when you're writing for long form, right? In this case, of course, there are instructions. So these are very, well crafted templates, and therefore you see different instructions to say, start with introductory slide. You can overwrite any of them. You can add your own instructions as well. If you want to drive certain main points, you can add that. The choice of slides, etc., that you want. You can also add a CTA to say, uh, follow Yarnet for more email marketing tips at www.yarnet.app. Yeah. Now, this is the only piece of information or the instruction that I'm adding. For you to sort of have context, I would strongly encourage and recommend you to sort of add more content instructions so that the system understands what you're trying to do, what are the points that you want to communicate. In interest of time, I'm not adding on the content instruction. For all the design use cases, now this is a very important selection, folks. You know, it will ask us what is the visual style that you're looking for. Now, what's a visual style? There could be a slide which is only heading, it could be only paragraph, it could be only CTA. So if you see the social media creatives, a lot many times, we are just writing paragraphs, in carousel post, we are not actually focusing on the heading, right? If you just want a simple CTA, with a visual at the back, you can actually ask for that particular visual style. The most common one is to have the heading and paragraph. For use cases, for example, if you're creating an ad, if you're creating an event, right, announcing an event creative, for those you want the heading, paragraph, and the CTA, because the CTA is actually what the action that you are asking from the user. For an informational post, which is maybe a carousel post in this case, right, you can actually have just the heading and paragraph, right? Same, thing, advanced settings. You can actually, if you have written a blog and now you want to create a carousel post of it, just add that document in the form of PDF, and the system should be smart enough to understand it and write and take context from your blog as well. So this is a very, parallel use that we have seen from our customers to repurpose content, right? Or you can add a blog and say, why don't you create a list of tweets for me? Right? So it should be able to sort of find a relevant text, cull out the tweets, for you to sort of create a tweet thread of it. Now, at this point, that of course, since this is a long form, even a carousel post is a bunch of slides. It is saying there's an outline, or it could be design it yourself, or it could be design with AI. Design it yourself. The difference between design it yourself and design with AI is as simple as this, right? For design with AI, it will visually compose things for you, find, bringing in the brand elements, bringing in the right templates to do that. In design it yourself, it is as you read it. It will design. You have to sort of design it yourself using the templates, the shapes, every other assets that we provide. But it will write the copy for you, right? As in, that's the added feature that you would see. It will write the copy for you, right? Let me try with design with AI.
Okay, so while we are waiting for that design with AI, there is a
Right.
question about the custom prompt option. So earlier, I saw there is a field called custom content instructions. Is this the same as
Right.
custom prompt?
Absolutely. So, what you see, the content instructions is basically guiding you to say, hey, this is what you can do, right? These are the key points. Of course, you can override them and add your own content as well, right?
Okay,
Add your own
so
own
mhm.
custom prompt or instructions, as you would want to call it. Then there are
Okay, great.
other, which is the freestyle version of it. Let's say if there is a use case that we don't cover altogether, and you want to write something, design something, you should be able to do that as well. Now, this is an important choice, folks. So just so that I don't lose this, this is a square post that I want to create. So this is where the aspect ratios come in. For example, this is more suited for Instagram, so I'm going ahead with this. Sorry, coming back to that question. Emma, I think um, on you can also use the freestyle version of it. I'll probably touch upon this right now as well. Now, if you see this, it has done this entire post for me in the form that it should be written, right? So if you look at the brevity of the text or the length of the text, the messaging that you see is very tuned to how social media content should be written, right? So it is writing those trends in the form that is suited to what a carousel post should look like. The choice of the color of the fonts, the size are getting dictated by whatever I have put into the brand kit, right? The logos and the placement of the logos are also getting dictated by what is happening on my brand, right? At this, the choice of images, of course, it is choosing those images, on its own. But if you want to sort of replace any of these images, you can certainly go in and just simply drag and drop. You should be able to change those images as well, right? If you see this, it has also sort of written the CTA for me, right? If you see, I just added a CTA saying, for tips, go there. But it has also sort of redrafted it saying, we hope you found this email marketing trends useful. If you want to sort of do more on this, visit Yarnet and follow for more tips and tricks, right? So this is sort of giving you that insight. Now, let's say, I don't like this. I think it's too much. I want to rephrase, shorten it. You should be able to do all of that even in the text boxes within your design kit, right? So the
Oh,
text boxes in itself are intelligent, right? So, for example, um, say for example, I go in and add a completely new heading. Now, this in itself is an intelligent box. Now, I can write a something, and write a punchline for Yarnet. All right. Yeah.
okay. So you can set the tone as well. That's cool.
Yeah.
Now, let's see here.
Yeah.
Is there
So
a
see, these are the
choice
different
on
ones.
the
Yeah,
language model?
yeah.
sorry about this. We have another question regarding the language model,
Mhm.
because you showed us like, hey, we can change the tone, but do we have a
Right.
choice of what language model that we can use in a particular request? Or
No, we don't differentiate that because we work with different language models ourselves, right? So,
Mhm.
just to sort of open up the hood a little bit, we work with models which are from OpenAI, your GPT-4, 3.5, Falcon, Llama, and we actually choose this model based on the use cases that you have, right? So we find the best fitting model for those use cases. So there's no choice that as such as we give on the generation side,
okay, got it.
right? So yeah, as in so like I said, the post is there. There are different layouts that you can work with. Again, this is a list that we constantly update. There are things like smart layouts, which are basically has you can literally drag and drop, and this will take the same shape or the visual composition and the content that you have on the slide, right? So it's basically I want to change the layout of this particular slide. You can do that. However, templates work differently. So if you look at templates retain the color, the image that you have on the templates because templates are supposed to sort of, just pick and choose them, use them, add your content, and get started with that. So templates work in the fixed fashion. Smart layouts adapts to the image that you have on the slide, the text that you have on the slide. Yeah. And then, assets layer is important. I think we had seen that in the previous version as well, in the first screen as well, wherein I can add different assets into this, right? And it could be my images that I'm adding. And you can use them also to sort of drop it, use it for your content, right? Text I've talking enough. I think we have the most if you look at most comprehensive icon library, most comprehensive shapes library. You can literally use any of these shapes. So for example, I go in and I want to sort of create a small maybe I wanted to create a post which is just also has my picture at the ending, right? And I can go ahead, do that, freeze the frame, right? Or fix this as a frame. The editing panel allows you to do that. So basically, I'm going to sort of make this as my frame. I'm going to go to my asset, find a good picture of mine, and add this in here, right? So these are small tips and design tricks. You should be able to do that if you're familiar with design tools. I'm sure you understand what I'm saying here. You can also change the you can work with the different image editing features that we have, whether it is to sort of remove the background, change the visual of the image. You should be able to do all of that as well, right? Uh, essentials, yeah, pretty much. You can, and same thing, you should be able to audit your content at this point as well, right? In if I go in and if I go to the CTA for that matter, so it will change. For my last slide, I wanted to demand action because this is where I'm asking people to sort of, you know, go to my website, click in here. But if I go to my sixth slide, which was much more on information, you will see the tone or the impact being different, right? So this is what I wanted to sort of take you through from an audit standpoint to say, it is just giving you a quick view of how the audience is likely to react to what they read in here. Everything that is auto generated is basically available to you in the bookmark button, whether it's the headline, the paragraph. And again, this is another place from where you should be able to generate text. You can also generate different content hooks in here, right? They're very similar to what I had shown earlier, right?
Okay, that's really good.
Now, at this point, sorry, just so that I'm sure I've already gone for a monologue. You're already bored, so I'm not going to take a lot of
No,
time.
we are not bored. We are excited. We are actually like really really listening to it and trying to get more. Okay, so do you have plans on adding more templates to the
Absolutely,
images?
absolutely,
The
absolutely.
image template library. Okay,
Yeah,
great.
that's a growing thing, right? As in, if you look at all the different design tools, without naming one, they didn't have so many on day zero or day one. It's a process. We keep on adding more to them, right?
Okay.
Two, if you see, you also sort of now have the ability to sort of download them. You should be able to download them in the form of, PNG, or a JPEG or a PDF, right? You should be able to save it. If you save it, it goes to your portfolio layer. You should be able to directly publish it from here. Now, publishing is dependent on the function whether you have activated your social media or not, right? So if you have added your social media handles, you should be able to publish it. You should be able to generate the caption for it, um, so that it's pretty much ready for you to sort of click on the schedule button, right? So, for example, if you see, it has given me a quick description or the caption that I can add right now. If I want to generate a different version of it, I can do another generation of this, right? Even on these, you would see probably, different ways to sort of rephrase them or change the tone, etc. Now, at this point, you should be able to schedule it. Let's say, I want to do this for a certain date and time. Schedule it for, you choose the time and choose the date. And, I'll probably see all my scheduled posts in the scheduler, which I'm going to show you next. And if I'm okay with this, I can just go ahead and publish it right away. Yeah. All
Okay.
right. That's pretty much on the design side. I hope I was able to sort of give you a quick summary of it. If you have more questions, happy to answer them and take them in our Q&A session. Um, Things like background remover, this is already embedded within the design layer as well. So if you bring in an image, if you want to sort of remove the background, you should be able to do that there as well. But if you are just working off a product visual, etc., you want to remove the background, you can do that right here. Publishing calendar is where you will see all everything that is scheduled for you. Whether they are scheduled, published, or failed, you will get the status of that in here, right? Um, and into the publishing layer, if there is something that you have not created through Yarnet, certainly you can go ahead and upload a file, an image, and you can publish that as well. Publish that too.
Okay.
Yeah, the assets layer we have already spoken about. I think the portfolio layer is not something that I've touched upon. So these are the different, published stories that I've written. These are the different jobs that I have, which are, you pretty much see everything that we just created also right now, right?
Right. Okay, so let's go to, hey guys, I think I've sent a form link, but people are saying that the form is not working, and I don't know why, but it's working on my side. So I'm recreating a new form while we are talking here. But before I create a new form, let's see here. We got more questions.
How do I sort of stop
And
sharing? Am I still
uh,
sharing my screen?
yes, you are. No worries. I already stopped sharing for you. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so there is a very hard question here that I think we have to really get it answered. Now,
Mhm.
they saying, okay, Asif is saying that it really looks quite promising, but the issue is future updates are not guaranteed in the LTD account. So I don't know exactly what is in the future for the LTD accounts.
No, absolutely. When you think about LTD, I take this term very seriously. It's like lifetime.
Right.
You are getting into a marriage, and you have to respect that marriage, right? So, we of course we are committed to, also have or our LTD customers majority of the updates that we bring in. I'll speak a little bit about the updates, Asif, of what things we are bringing in. Of course, you will see an a portion amount of quota of those features coming into the LTD deals, because we also need to sort of respect our enterprise users who are doing that. But you have to sort of we are bringing interesting stuff on things that are coming up recently. Of course, you will see this whole there is a release that's happening next week where you should be able to do the measurement of your post as well to find out the analytics around it. We are bringing in AI art as a feature, right? Where you should be able to generate a few uh, artistic things, like I'm sure all of you have gone through Midjourney and stuff, but how do you sort of make it more contextual, more product based images for your account? So I'll leave with those two big ones. Plus, there are small updates and upgrades that we constantly bring in, and we don't see LTD customers to be any different in those lines. Yeah.
Okay, so it seems that the link is actually working, the giveaway form link, and I'll just need to drop it again. It's because of a space bar or space in between. Okay, so here again is the form. I dropped it on Facebook, and I'll drop it on YouTube. And sorry about that. So I don't have to recreate a new form. Perfect. Okay. So yeah, I think it just has to be fair what we can get and what we cannot get. But yeah, so let's see. Okay,
Yep.
there you go.
We
So now it's
work through the
working.
question also.
Okay, so there are all right. So a lot of people are asking, they still don't understand why is it a 5-in-1 app. So I think you have to explain this part.
The whole point around 5-in-1 is the capability in itself, which is
Right.
your ability to ideate, write, design, audit, and publish content, right? So it's these are five things that are, I can say, milestones in your content journey, from the point that you have an idea to how you finally sort of publish it and make it in front of your users. So those are the five steps, and we try to sort of bring everything into a connected system.
Okay. So you can create or ideate, write, design,
Design,
audit,
audit,
and publish.
and publish.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's five. Yes, that is
yeah,
5-in-1 app. So basically, you can even replace Canva in a way, and you are creating on brand templates, so you don't
yeah.
have to create it again and again and again. And the AI
Right.
even writes for you what to put on those creatives. So yeah, that's really cool. Now, next thing here. Okay. Okay, so I think we need to come back here again. Mr. Dutta, that's very respectful. Thank you. Abhishek. So you are promising that all future updates will be added for LTD customers.
Yeah, yeah. So for we'll try what there are roadmap things that we are bringing in. What we would certainly want to sort of respect our LTD customers to have is to be the first ones to give us that feedback. One of the reasons we everybody starts with lifetime deals is to sort of get that honest, brutal feedback. So that we can only become better than what we were yesterday. And yeah, so we are going to sort of hold that commitment. There are certain, although having said that, there are, like I said, there will be quotas in it, which we have to also apportion it accordingly, right? But I don't see any, mega feature that our regular plans have that is not going to be part of lifetime deals in wherever but having said that, let me put that caveat. We also work with partners, for example, the image thing I talked about. So there are, at times we are, as much as we would love to sort of pass on all the different features that we also bring from partners, but there might be certain restrictions that we may incur from our partners, right? And which are the only probably boundings at this point.
Okay. So, yeah. So I hope that is okay. I wouldn't say I hope you like the answer, but hey, we have to be fair. It's still a business, and we are to support both. So Yarnit will support us users, and we also have to support Yarnit at the
Yeah.
same time. It's like sales and marketing; they coexist. We went to go. We went to the first part of the thing. Okay, so hey guys, is there anyone else having issues with the form? And I hope not, because okay, you don't have to fill it twice. You only have to fill it once. If it says you have submitted it, and then you have successfully submitted your entry, that it's good. Okay, let me see any other
There are some
question.
interesting questions that I see. I think HM Suja, is the dark mode default?
Yes.
Yes, today we just have a dark mode, but give us a week or more. We are actually doing a product hunt launch later this month. Would love for you to sort of come support us in the product hunt launch as well. And you might see a little bit of early winter in there, little making us white. So I'm sort of putting that as a giveaway. We are trying to sort of also bring in both the light mode. We do understand there are users, creators who would probably want to sort of operate in a more lighter screen. Right. So yeah,
Okay.
dark mode is a default as of now, but we are trying to sort of bring in the light mode as
Oh, I love dark mode, so for me it's perfect. But yes, I
well.
understand others have a different preference. Okay, so the posting and scheduling for one account, is it one brand on all social media? And I noticed, and I think I emailed this to you. I
Yeah,
noticed that on LinkedIn, it's either I can add a profile or a company, but not both.
yeah. That's the limitation of the social publishing at this point. So it's one account per social media channel, right?
Hmm.
And when I say one account, it could be the differentiation like you just made, right? So, for that's the limitation of these plans, which is for you to sort of, it will have only one account uh, per social media channel.
But it does allow two accounts for Facebook, one for groups and one for page, but only one group. You cannot have more than one group.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So, is there going to be an improvement on this part?
In not improvement necessarily, but you might
Hmm.
see credits coming your way, Poonam.
Okay.
Very similar to things that we I think somebody had asked from the group on the image credits. We are certainly going to sort of bring in credits where you can add more account.
Okay. So I'm just going through some questions here, and all right. So we mentioned earlier that it is five in one app because a lot of people are still. Some people have asked, how is Yarnit different from other AI writing tools? So it's because
Right,
it's a five in one app, and we have all these designing, the creatives, the ideation, writing, everything that you could, and even scheduling, all at the same
right.
time in one platform. Okay,
Right,
and
and if you think of us, the best thing that and this is not me, so I don't want to sort of brag about the product myself as much as a sales guy should. Uh, but if you think of it, the things that our customers appreciate of, one is the personalization there that you would see, and this is a feature that is going to be richer and richer in the future, right? So one thing is for guaranteed, that is something that you will never see a compromise on will only help you create more personalized content for your audience and for your brand. The second thing is your ability to work with on trend information, whether it was the idea generator, right, which we are able to create as current or as recent information as pretty much an hour before this, right? Two, your ability to sort of bring in different connected assets, for example, the research part of it, right, which makes the credibility much more better. Yeah.
okay, and let me see. There was a question I was eyeing earlier. Okay, so
Sorry.
regarding the plan limits,
Yeah.
Anil, you did not miss it. We haven't talked about it. So, how many websites are supported in the plan? So, could you please
When
explain more about what are the plans on Rocket Hub right now that are available?
oh yeah, so how many websites you mean the brands? Uh,
I
okay, so I, I,
okay.
I I think I broadly understand that question. I think there are brand limitations for both the plans, um, which is, for the advanced plan, you should be able to create multiple brands, personalities. So that is one part of it. For sorry, I'm just sort of need to sort of check that plans one more time, so it's not on top of my mind. The other one, I think, for the publishing part, I think that question was more around the publishing part as well. So social media handles, there. So the larger plan allows you to sort of do it for seven different channels versus the standard plan, which allows you to do for 4 social media channels.
Okay, and are there any team seats in the plan?
Team seats, yes, the
Yes,
one
I
that
think
is on
so.
advanced. Yeah, the advanced plan is for teams, which
Mhm.
allows you to have five other co-creators or teammates in that plan.
Okay, so I'm looking at here. So you have content idea generator of 200 per month for the advanced plan, and image background remover 200 per month, standard and premium design templates. Oh, there is actually a question about that earlier. What's the difference between the standard and the premium templates?
Right. So there are design templates in there which are premium at times, are also sourced from uh, other uh, you know other libraries as well. But these are the templates that you see are basically created by us, supported by our own community of creators, which is what we present to you. Right.
Okay, yeah, let me see. So yes, it looks quite interesting. Definitely, it is interesting. Oh, actually, there's another question here from Fuzz. It's all the way up. I couldn't find it anymore. Okay, I'll just say it. Okay, so is it possible, for example, I have a competitor website or a landing page that I like, and I feed it into Yarnit, and then Yarnit can rewrite the landing page for me that is using my brand personality.
Mhm. Interesting. So if I've seen that being used for different things, on the not for the brand personality so much, but for reference writing. In the reference writing, we have seen our customers add links of the product catalogs that they have already had, so that it makes their life easier to write things. But on the brand personality, there is something, there's a very interesting ask that you have is, can you also get inspired on the brand personality? If I have to sort of take that question that way, yeah, not there today. Hopefully in the future.
Okay, this is funny. Actually, we talked about this from the very beginning, as if you're late.
Uh,
What is
yeah,
Yarnit?
Asif, I'm happy to repeat that, Asif. That's the one romantic moment that we have with the product. So the meaning, the way we derived the term, it was basically yarn, which also means short stories, and the process of spinning, right, or process of weaving, which is yarning, right? How you spin a ball of wool, or you know. So we brought the verb and the noun together to bring Yarnet. So how do you spin stories?
Right. But now they have threads from Facebook, from Meta.
Yeah,
Is it still available, the
uh,
threads? I haven't even created an
yeah.
account. So Yarn threads. What is this? How come everything is about, yeah, the yarn? Okay, got it. Anyway, so we are going to start the giveaway. And thanks so much, JD. Thanks so much to everyone who joined us tonight. Now, I think some of the responses were double, and it's fine. We can do something about it. Let me see if it exported. So it's exporting now. Okay, yes, Faz, I will add you manually because you couldn't get in there. So I need to remove the duplicates, but it's going to work. So let's see. Sorry about that. You have to wait a little bit for the giveaway. Okay. So I'm just removing duplicates. Please wait a moment, and I will share my screen soon. Okay, so I need to add Faz. Yeah, have usage.
Let me grab some water.
Yes, please. And let's see this. Nico is here. Okay. Pretty Pravash. Okay, not bad. Wow, this is pretty good. So we have a total of 61 entries. Wow, thank you so much, guys. We have a lot today. And I am now going to share my screen. There you go. Finally, I have my screen. Hopefully, it does not disappear. And I'm going to do a roll call to make sure I did not miss anyone. So I have here Aaron John, AB, Barik, Abhishek, Abir, Aldonza, Amir Azad, Amir Rao, Anika, Anil, Ankit, Ans, Asif, Ayesha, Bijoy, BL, Brave, Lee, Chaitanya, Charles, Aaron Serwa, Eugene, Fardeen, Faz Musa, Avadaju. Okay, Hafiza, HM, Hugs, Interjit, Interpret, Ishika, Jadip, Joginder, Kosar, Leo, Mamta, Mary, MD Istek, Mizanur, Niru, Ngok Nguyen, Nico, um, Nur, Olivia Sarkar, Punam, Pradeep, Pravash, Rafi, Rahul, Rana, Ranveer, Richard, Robert, Rohit, Sayam, Shamin, Sobuj, Somya, Stephen, Subha, Sujit, Tusar, and Zadir. Oh, okay. So I need to add Araf. Okay. I think Araf is the only one I missed, right? That's a long list. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And tonight we're going to draw three winners for our giveaway. So each winner will get a standard plan of Yarnit, the standard Rocket Hub plan. Okay, so let's shuffle this one. And thanks, JD, for this live stream and for this giveaway.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you. Thanks to your audience and everybody who joined us for spending the time with us. I hope we made good use of your time.
Yes, I hope. Oh, definitely, definitely. Okay, so first I have Asif Ryan. Congratulations, Asif. And Asif, where
Congratulations,
are
Asif.
you? You should be there. Okay. Let's see the next one. Okay, next one is Rohit Deshpande. Rohit, can you please tell me if you are around?
Congrats, Rohit.
Congratulations, Rohit. But where is Rohit? I could not see him yet. Okay, so I will draw the next one while waiting for
Mhm.
a hi from Rohit. Rohit, where are you? You have to be here to claim your prize, or else it will go to the next one. Okay, I saw right Asif is there. Ayasha! Who is the one saying I am here? Okay, that was in Facebook. No. Okay, so
Congrats,
that's
Aisha.
Rohit. And next is Ayasha. Where is Ayasha?
I think Rohit is here.
So I'm looking for Ayasha. I found Rohit, so it's only Ayasha that is missing. Okay, I'll wait for a moment and let's see. Oh, there is Ayasha. So we have all the three winners. We have Asif, Rohit, and Ayasha. And congratulations and thank you so much, guys, for joining us tonight. And remember that up till until when is Yarnit available?
I think it's a week more where Yarnet is available on Rocket Hub, right? So please feel free to check out the deal if you're not lucky one to get the giveaway. I would certainly
Right.
encourage all of you to
Oh, is
go
it
and check
possible
out the
to
deal.
upgrade if say if they won the giveaway and they want to upgrade to the agency
You
plan?
might have to talk to the Rocket Hub
Advanced
team
plan.
to do that. You have to
Mm-hmm.
sort of talk. And I'm not sure if you are acquainted with Charlie and the team. If you
Yes,
can
I
sort
know
of
them.
right. So, I think there I'd seen a couple of folks requesting for it.
Mm-hmm.
They went for the standard plans, but majority of our actually LTD buyers have been on the larger plan. So, we'll probably have to sort of talk to the Rocket Up team. Yeah,
Okay, so thanks everyone. Thank you again so much for being here with us tonight. And thanks JD for your time. Wow, we have a lot to do with Yarnet and I can't wait to do more stuff in Yarnet because I just got it yesterday and I'm still a little bit lost. But after our talk today, after our live stream, now I know much more how to use it. So thanks so much, JD.
fantastic.
Thanks,
My
everyone.
pleasure.
And
My pleasure.
yes, thank you. Thank you. And let's support JD. Please purchase Yarnit or Rocket Hub. And we have a link here as well, or we have a link on our Facebook group. So thank you, everyone. And good night. See you next time.
Absolutely. Thank you so
Bye.
much, folks. Thank you, everyone. Bye. Good night.